To the cost of living pressures now, because many of us are facing increased household costs, including energy bills. Well, some social housing residents living in Lambeth claim they've been threatened with eviction by the council if they can't pay increased heating bills, which some say they simply can't. Tenants were under a communal heating agreement to keep their payments at a set amount. But last year, high fuel prices meant their rates rose sharply. Lambeth Council says it's helping residents who've built up arrears. Ayshea Buksh has the story.
Kirsty Oliveira has lived on this estate in Lambeth for over 20 years. She and other residents all pay the same in heating bills, no matter how much they use. And their bills have gone up by nearly £300 a month. Those who can't pay and have built up debts are also now being threatened with eviction.
I've got people who have told me they're not eating because they are trying to make sure that their children are eating. I've got people who are telling me that they have taken out loans and paid for this on credit cards because they're terrified of getting into arrears because people think they're going to be evicted.
But then they send you this. That's the start of legal action.
Elsewhere in the borough, other residents are dealing with the same issue. John lives in sheltered accommodation in Streatham. He and around 40 fellow residents are refusing to pay their communal heating bills and are also facing legal action.
The majority on our estate have got health problems. You basically got to get on the estate. The average age of people there is between 80 and 85, I would say there. And a lot of them, we've got a shield from this, you know, they don't understand this, they've never been behind with their rent.
Well, it's not just residents here and in Lambeth who face increased heating costs because of communal heating arrangements. But for many here, their extra anxiety has been caused by the threats of repossession and eviction.
When will the council wake up and say, OK, that way is not going to work? We'll meet the tenants and we'll talk about what can be done. And there are government schemes that could help. There are ways of making the heat systems, the heat networks more efficient, which will also make them more affordable and improve their carbon emissions.
In a statement, Lambeth Council said they expect the charge for communal heating and hot water to fall in the coming year. They are providing extra funding for their most vulnerable residents and working with residents to create extended payment plans. They also said possession proceedings will only ever be used as a last resort where other interventions and support have proved unsuccessful. Zach and his neighbours in Kennington, meanwhile, also have to find an extra £300 a month for their bills. And he believes the communal heating system is not value for money.
It goes down probably a dozen, if not more times a year. Last Christmas it was down for 2 weeks. You know, you quite often wake up in the morning and go, all right, there's no hot water, can't have a shower this morning. It's often that you get used to it.
The council says their cost of living response has supported thousands of households. These residents, meanwhile, hope it will work out a way to help them and their families. Ayshea Buksh, BBC London.
That was Ayshea Buksh.